welcome to the Friday Waffle. It's it's not 16, it's 18:45, 6:45 on a Friday night. It's absolutely disgusting outside. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Apparently it's to get worse over the weekend as well. So, yeah, I've not got changed it. I'm just actually waiting for my... I was going to do a live waffle, but I'm waiting for my daughter. She's in Edinburgh with her pals. And she's 15 years old and she doesn't reply to her bloody mobile. I mean, you get her a mobile phone, she doesn't... As soon as you phone it, it goes straight to answer machine. I mean, go figure. So anyway, yeah, I'm kind of waiting for her to give me a phone when I have to go and pick her up from the railway station. So that's why I thought I won't do a live one, because I didn't want to start a live one and then have to kind of finish it after 5 minutes. So I hope you've all had an alright week. My week has just been insane. I mean, I'll just leave it at that. Just insanely busy. There's people off sick and you're having to cover for people, and it's just, you're running about all over the place. It's just absolutely mental. But one thing it does do, it makes for a really, really quick week, which is good. So this week, have I been doing any? I've not been playing any games at all. I'll tell a lie, I have. I've been playing my MAME cab quite a bit. I did put in a couple of new joysticks, or sorry, I'll rephrase that. Neil, who you've probably met on multiple MAME Meister and Chums Talk Pish, and also some of the live waffles that I've done. Neil very kindly installed a couple of new joysticks. He also put new buttons in as well. Got to say, I mean, it was my mate Mike who supplied the joysticks and the buttons, and they're non-clicky. They're just a lot better. One of the joysticks I noticed is kind of sticking. It just, you've got to kind of force it, especially to the right hand side. I took it to bits, but I don't know what's wrong with it. It just seems to be really sticky. And when you're playing arcade games, you know, you don't really want that. You want it to be nice and kind of, you shouldn't have to sort of force it across. So that's been that. I've been playing my MAME cab. I've not done a great deal. Have I been doing anything at all? I can't remember what I've been doing this week, you know. I was actually at the gym. I'm now over my, I'm not going to say man flu, I hate that phrase, you know. Seems to be a popular phrase that people like to use, especially women. Oh, it's the man flu. No, it's not, it's just a cold. But I'm a lot better. I'm not coughing as much now. Just got to blow my nose every now and again. So, happy with that. I was at the gym. When was I at the gym? I was at the gym on... This is Friday. I was at the gym on Wednesday. I might, depending on the time as well, so it's 10 to 7, I might actually nick down to the gym later on tonight, depending on when my daughter decides to show up. So, yeah, that's kind of been my week. Just working, not doing a huge amount. By the way, I put out an Arcade Perfect My Arse New Zealand story, or the New Zealand story. And I bloody well forgot to include the Commodore 64. Now, I did play the Commodore 64 one. What I might actually do is tag it on... In fact, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-record the Commodore 64 one, and I'll add it in to the Arcade Perfect My Arse, and I'll re-upload it as version 2. A few people mentioned it to me, and they're like, where's the C64 one? And I'm like, I've done it, I played it. And I was actually really impressed with it. I mean, I'm sure I mentioned how much I liked it. But for whatever reason, it didn't... or I'm not going to blame the software, it was quite clearly my fault. I didn't include it in the actual finished video. So yeah, apologies to any Commodore 64 fan. I did play the game. It's super impressive, but I will redo it. And I'll edit it back in. I'll probably leave the original Arcade Perfect up there anyway, just in case, but I'll call it version 2, something like that. So, yeah, apologies to anybody that I upset with missing the C64 one out. It wasn't intentional, honest. So, yeah, I've not really got a lot to talk about at all. I've just been so busy at work, doing other bits and pieces, but I might actually, I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. I might watch a film, or I might play some video games actually. I've not played the Dreamcast for a while, so I might get stuck into that. I'll see. I shall see. So anyway, I'm just going to batter straight in with the questions, guys. Right, what I tend to do now is I read out the comments. People seem to quite enjoy that. I'll just narrow that down a wee bit, get that ready. That okay. Right, comments from last week's Friday Waffle. Andy, aka Jamie Williamson. I had an Aki monitor once, but a few wet wipes soon sorted it. Ho ho ho! Yes, an Aki monitor is a little lizard that belongs to my daughter, though I look after it. That's the little guy that you see in the sort of vivarium on the right hand side anytime I'm doing one of my when I'm recording a waffle from the living room. That's what's in it. He's called Wink, by the way. Wink, I said, with an I. Right, down the rabbit hole, my mate Kev. Hi Alan, some questions for Friday. There's something about the gaming community I don't understand. Why aren't Nintendo fans as prone to outrage and toxic behaviour compared to other gamers? You know what, Kev? Considering how much a video games fan I am, I don't really get involved in the politics. I don't go into any gaming forums. I don't get involved in what's kind of going on, what's big news. I do know that, you know, especially maybe PC owners, in fact not even PC owners, well probably PC owners, PlayStation 4 owners, not the Nintendo, I don't know, the Xbox One, whatever it's called, I don't even know what the latest Xbox is called. It's generally adults who have these machines. It's the, what do you call it? It's the Call of Duty brigade, you know, there's these guys that all they do is spend all their time playing these online games, and they get very angry, they get very passionate, they become quite knobbish actually, some of the stuff that they come out with. I think possibly, now I might be talking complete bollocks, but I think it's possibly because Nintendo, I think it's younger gamers, or it's more, I mean, personally, I mean, I love my PlayStation 4. The games that generally appear on these consoles, there's a lot of like really serious games when you're killing things, and you know, like I said, Call of Duty, and there are more kind of adulty games, whereas Nintendo tend to be more kiddie games. You know, you've got Mario and you've got your Yoshi and Donkey Kong and Zelda. They're a kind of easier nature. They're more gentle games. You don't get real, you know, you don't get any blood in any of these games. And I think the fact that happens is, you know, the audience for Nintendo games, I would imagine, again I might be talking out a hole in my head, I would imagine it's more family orientated. You know, a lot of the games are for kids, they're for adults. And me for one, I always maintain that Nintendo make probably some of the best games ever. You know, the polish that goes into their games, the presentation is just it's on a different level as far as I'm concerned. But I think that the target audience of Nintendo, they are more a family orientated console as opposed to PlayStation 4 or Sony or Microsoft, whatever, or PC. It's more hard-edged guys, you know, they're more into their serious games, their Call of Duties, their Battlefields, whatever it is that these guys play. Whereas Nintendo, I think, is more kiddie orientated, though, you know, adults will enjoy the games just the same. So I think it's possibly down to that, Kev. I think it might just be the audience that Nintendo get it's a completely different audience from the other consoles, and I think that may well explain why there's less toxic behaviour from Nintendo. That's my opinion, Kev, and I could be talking complete balls, but anyway. Secondly, I'm wondering how far the mini console fad is going to go. Do you think we'll get something like a GameCube Mini? Isn't it already mini? You're absolutely right. Aye, what has Nintendo started with this mini thing? I don't know. I was going to say I don't really get it. I do get it. It's all about making money. It's about making consoles that available to a new generation. You know, I mean, I was actually talking to somebody at work today, and I was saying how it freaks me out when there's people I work with, there's people that I know, and they weren't even born when the PlayStation came out. And I'm like, what? How can you be younger than the PlayStation? To me, the PlayStation is still a kind of current, well, it's not a current console, but it was fairly recent. You know, it came out, I don't know, when did it come out? When did it come out? 1995, something like that. But I still look upon it as a fairly, modern console compared to, like, my Commodore 64. Where am I going with this? Aye, so anyway, yeah, I mean, we've got the PlayStation Mini. I think the reason behind these mini consoles is it's making these old machines available to a new generation, and it's all about making money. So I do get that. I think, Kev, to answer your question, I think there's every possibility that the GameCube may have a mini. I mean, Nintendo definitely know how to put the mini out. The Mini's NES, Mini NES is really nice. It's really, really nice. I'm not interested in the PlayStation Mini in the slightest. It's not to say I won't buy one at some point. If I could get one for like 30 quid, I'd probably end up buying it. But I'm not really interested in buying one because I'm not a big fan of the PlayStation. I've got a PlayStation. In fact, it's not even plugged in. But it's all about the games. And as I've said before, I tend to find that a lot of the games, the supplied games you get with these aren't always the greatest. There'll maybe be one or two that are really good, and then the rest I kind of feel are like, are kind of stocking fillers. I don't know. But to me, you can get an original machine a lot cheaper than buying one of these things. But you know what? The fact that you can plug it into an HDMI and just play it is good. You might, I don't know, has the PlayStation Mini got cordless controllers? I don't think it does. So yeah, it's designed, these mini machines are designed for a modern market, modern TVs, because you don't get, TVs now don't come with SCART sockets. I've no doubt in a few years time when the next HDMI 2 or something comes out, you're not going to get HDMI sockets any longer, so these mini consoles, they do have a purpose. They let you play old games on modern TVs, but they're quite restricted, and they've got their place. They're not for me. Though saying that, I do have the SNES Mini, and I like my Commodore 64 Mini as well, but they've got a place, and it all comes down to how much they sell. If they're popular, then companies like Nintendo are going to keep putting them out, as are Sony as well. So we'll see what happens, Kev. But yeah, GameCube Mini, don't write it off, mate. Thirdly, Nintendo say they are not interested in making an N64 Mini, but there's speculation they might make a Game Boy Mini. What? Why would you want a Game Boy Mini? How? Surely a Game Boy itself is a mini. Seriously? Any idea how successful something like that would be if they made it, and would you buy one? No, not at all, Kev. Not interested. I've got a Game Boy. It's got a backlight on it. I mean, why don't they bring out, I don't know, why don't they bring out their own, bring out a brand new Game Boy, make it compatible with the Game Boy Color, give it a nice backlit screen, don't bring out a Game Boy Mini, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I do get it, but again, I've answered my own question. They're making these not for guys like you or guys like myself. They're making them for, the target audience is probably people maybe in their 20s, even 30s, who weren't around when the Game Boy came out. So if they can pick up a brand new Game Boy Mini, they'll be like, wow, this is amazing. It's interesting that you're saying that they're not interested in bringing out an N64 Mini, because I mean, why not? I mean, you know what? Of all the mini consoles that you can get, I would probably, possibly, buy an N64 Mini. Now, I've made no secret, I wouldn't say my hatred, but I've made no secret that I'm not a fan of the N64. I did buy one at the time. I just never really got on with it that well. There weren't that many games that I particularly thought were impressive, apart from like Mario 64. But playing an N64 now, you know, it looks shit on a modern TV. Emulation, the emulation's probably not bad, but the problem you've got is the controllers. You know, the N64 had a really unique controller. I've got to say, I wasn't a fan of it. I thought the little analog nub, it was like cheapo. It was a wee plastic. You felt it could break off at any time, and it's the only console that I've owned that I felt like it was cheapo. It's going to break. I mean, your Xbox 360, your PlayStation 4 gamepads, I've dropped them. They don't break. But I think if you dropped an N64 controller, it would probably snap the little analog stick. So I'm not a big fan of the N64, but it's probably the one console I think would possibly benefit having an update. You know, the ability to plug it into an HDMI socket and it looks really nice. Maybe put in some SCART lines, something like that. Scan lines, I should say. Yeah, it's interesting. Why don't they do that? I don't know. It comes down to money at the end of the day, Kev, but a Game Boy Mini, nah, no thank you. We've got a Game Boy Mini, we don't need a Game Boy Mini. If you're going to do that, Nintendo, just bring out the original Game Boy, but put a nice backlight on it, you know, and it will sell bucket loads. Finally, I played about halfway through the PlayStation 3 remake of Shadow of the Colossus, and I noticed those old game mechanics don't really hold up anymore. So I was wondering if you have tried any remakes of older games that you found just aren't as enjoyable as today's standards. I can't think of any offhand. Well, no, I suppose one game, and I'm a massive fan of it, Kev, but I just wish they would bloody well improve the controls, and that's Resident Evil. I've played some of the remakes. I think I've got HD remakes on, is it the Xbox One, I think it is, and on the PC, I'm sure, on Steam. And it's like the tank controls, left and right rotates, forward makes you walk forward, does back make you walk backwards, I think it does. It just feels really artificial, it's not fluent. Why don't they change the controls? Maybe, are the more modern Resident Evils updated? I don't know, I'm really not too sure. But certainly the old remakes that they made, or HD makeovers, whatever you want to call them, they still use the same shitty controls. Now I love Resident Evil games. I mean, Resident Evil 4 is up there. It's probably one of my top 10 video games of all time. I've played through it, maybe 5 times. I just love it. I'll put it on the Wii, I'll put Infinite Ammunition, and just playing through Infinite Ammunition is absolutely awesome. Yeah, I love Resident Evil 4, but the controls are shit. You know, let's be honest. You know, you get used to them, but why don't they make it more fluent? You know, you press left, you walk left. You press up, you walk up. So yeah, that's one game that I would say the controls are a bit naff. I've not really played any other of the remakes. One game that I kind of want to play, and I've played it a few times, and I get so far into it, and I like it because of the atmosphere. But as far as a game, it's debatable whether you could actually call it a game, and that is Heavy Rain. I remember seeing it on the PlayStation 3 many years ago, and my jaw hit the floor with the graphics. It was just incredible looking. And it's got a really good atmosphere. You play different parts. You play a detective. You play this guy whose basically his life is in turmoil. His kid's been killed, and It's quite an emotional game, and there's various people you play, and the graphics are amazing, the atmosphere is amazing, but the controls are pretty shit. Again, it's like tank controls trying to actually walk. I mean, walking is one of the most natural things you could ever do in the world. So why would a video game make it difficult to walk? You shouldn't have to think about, I'm going to turn that way or I'm going to walk this way. It should be natural. So to make it, you've got to think about it. It's crazy. So anyway, Kev, listen mate, thank you very much for your questions, as always. Next up is Russ. Hi Alan, it's Russ. Question for next waffle. How did the joystick repair go in your MAME cab? Are you back up and running? Perhaps you should give us a video showing us a demonstration of it working again. Absolutely, I will. What I'll maybe do... Oh, hang on a little second, guys. That is Ava phoning. Sorry, that was Ava. I'm going to have to go in 5 minutes and pick her up. So I'll probably continue this waffle after I come back. Yeah, sorry Russ. The MAME cab, I think I mentioned it actually. I've got 2 new joysticks fitted. New buttons fitted. It's a lot better, but unfortunately the right hand joystick seems to be really stiff. So Mike, my mate, is going to send me a new joystick and he's going to try that. But yeah, really good. But what I might actually do is I'm going to record some footage of me playing it, and I'll stick it on at the end of the waffle. Hopefully I remember, because I've got a terrible memory when it comes to these things. I say I'm going to put something in and then I forget to do it. So anyway, yeah. Thanks for the question then, Russ. Next up is GTB Films. Alan, possible question for next week. Some of the best games are ones where you play against another human. Recently I was reminded that we used to have rules against using cheap tricks in some of these. For example, a ban on engineer rushes in Red Alert. No idea what that is, Alan. I've played Red Alert, I don't know what engineer rushes are. No constant spamming Blanca's electricity in Street Fighter 2. Oh, is that just when you constantly press the fire button? No continually losing the back elbow move in Double Dragon. No using a built-in cheat that rocket boosted your car in Colin McRae's rally, letting it fly over other competitors. No getting a single lemming home, then using all the rest to sabotage your opponent. Did you have any similar rules when playing multiplayer games, and did you stick to them? Or like me, did the temptation usually become too much? Oh, bloody hell, Alan. I'm trying to think, mate. I mean, I suppose, you know, Exploding Fist or, you know, any of the beat-em-ups, you didn't just do the leg sweep. I mean, Exploding Fist, you could just do the leg sweep. That's the problem for me with beat-em-up games. Unless you're actually quite skilled in playing them and you actually take time to learn how to play them, then it's the easiest thing to just hammer away, you know, at the same buttons and, you know, do the same move. There's no skill at all. But the unfortunate thing for me, Alan, is I'm a wee bit older than you, and I was married, and, you know, I was living with my girlfriend or wife, I should say, when I got like the PlayStation and, you know, all these consoles. So I never really got the chance to play multiplayer. I mean, the only multiplayer games I really played was when I still lived at home, and it was the Commodore 64. I'm trying to think of any. Was there any game on the C64 that you weren't allowed to do? Like I says, with Exploding Fist, you could do the leg sweep, constantly. I'm just trying to think of any other. I mean, other two-player games that I played, like International Soccer. I mean, I used to play a lot of, what do you call it, Sensible Soccer. And one thing that used to really annoy me, well, it didn't annoy me, it used to frustrate me, was my mate, he could always score from a corner kick in Sensi Soccer. He was able to make the wee man move across, and I could never, ever, a diving header basically, I could never do it, and he could do it every time. So any time he got a corner, it was a guaranteed goal for him. So that used to annoy me, just because I was shite and he was good at it. But I can't think of any. Was there any little annoyances? No, I'm no doubt if I was to sit and think for 10 minutes, Alan, I would think of something. But like I said, I didn't play, my kind of multiple player stuff was 8-bit, 16-bit, and I can't think of any games that spring to mind. I mean, yeah, we would play like Gauntlet, and you would have, the whole point of Gauntlet is to try and get as far as you can, as a team. And so we would always kind of have this unwritten law that, whoever had the least energy should get the food. And that never really happened. You were always a greedy bastard. You always either shot the food or you shot the wee barrels of cider. So yeah, we'd agree. No. I've got least energy. Let me pick it up. But 9 times out of 10, that went straight out the window. You just you picked up stuff that I'm going to pick it up. But I can't think of anything else, Alan. Like I says, when I moved onto PlayStation, it was kind of it was beat 'em ups, playing Tekken, playing Street Fighter, whatever. It was you could just do the same move over and over and over again, and that just became boring. It made the game, and that's ultimately what spoiled the game for me. I didn't see any point in playing it because it was just boring. So yeah, that would probably be my answer to that, Al. And tell you what, I'm going to pause this because I'm going to go and get Ava, and I shall continue in probably 5-10 minutes. Back in a wee jiffy, guys. We'll try probably about an hour and a half rather than 5-10 minutes. But anyway, yep. Thanks for your question, Alan. Right, next question we have got Mr. Doug Scullery. Here's a Christmas question for next week's waffle. This year, under the Christmas tree, you might find either a ZX81's weight of gold or a Sinclair C5's weight of silver, or your own weight in pound coins. Which one do you want? Answer is below, no peeking. What one would I like? A ZX81's weight of gold, a Sinclair C5's weight of silver, or your own weight in pound coins? I think I've got no idea about how much gold or silver is worth, Doug, but I think I would go for my own weight in pound coins. Definitely. Right, what's he saying here? A ZX81. What? I can't even read that. Your weight is the... I can't even see that. Your weight is... I've got no idea what Doug is waffling on about here. Wait a minute, I'm going to have to open up a Word document and then I'm going to type in what he's actually saying here. I've got no idea what you're saying here, Doug. So let's see, it's going to say your weight is EIGHT. That doesn't make any sense. GRAN. Your weight is either... What? Your weight is either... What? It doesn't make any sense, Doug. Sorry, C5 is 16 grand. Right, okay. Right, okay, so a C5 would be 16 grand. ZX81 is 10 grand. Right, got you. And your weight is either... Right, okay, I think 16 grand. Could I fit £16,000 coins? Probably the C5 in silver is going to be worth more. Although I would have probably gone for the pound coins in my weight. But anyway, an interesting question nevertheless, Doug. Don't save that. Right, what's... Mark, Lactobacillus Prime, this week's better visuals, better audio. I reckon you were a bit too far away from the camera. Yeah, I must admit, I need to, when I do the Friday Waffle using the GoPro, I need to not have it sitting quite so far away. It's not got the best microphone. Now, get better, sir. Well, I do have it. I am a lot better. You've got this really bad. The paracetamol limit per purchase is to prevent people from overdosing, which actually can sort of happen easily with paracetamol. When using paracetamol, try to use the lowest working dose, as it is less harmless as it seems. 4 grams a day really is the maximum you should take. Interesting, Mark. I know my mum, who was a nurse all her life, she used to always sort of say you need to be very careful when you're using paracetamol. Yeah, anyway, thanks for that. Right, next is Panther UK Chris. Quality waffle, mate. As long as you keep managing to waffle, I won't be complaining about any lack of videos. I like it when you put in little clips like the bagpipe sound, because I had completely forgotten about that. Right, for next week, here's something that might be a subject worth talking about, maybe. I know you're about 5 years older than me, but when I was at school I don't remember a single female friend or any of the girls at all having a computer. Girl gamers seem to be a relatively recent, 1990s thing, and particularly now in mobile systems. I'm not trying to spark off a sexist debate, I just wondered if your experience was similar a couple of years before me, and possibly why, because it wasn't all shooting and sports games. My mum used to play text adventures for hours. I think my experience was pretty much the same, Chris. I do remember a girl at school, high school, called Sharon Crosby, who had a computer, and we used to swap computer games. And my experience of having been into computer games for 30 years? Yeah, maybe 33 years. I've got to say, there are very few girls I've actually come across that are interested in playing games. I mean, my wife, my ex, was not remotely interested. She did used to play Street Fighter on the Dreamcast with me at the very start when we first started dating. But I think it's one of these things where you try and be flexible when you first meet somebody, but then after a while you think, well, this isn't really what I'm into. So nah, I've got to say, there's only one friend I've got. She lives down in London, and she is a massive gamer. In fact, my mate and her got together. They're both huge gamers, and they're so happy. They've got the sheer identical hobbies, and that's pretty wicked. I mean, in an ideal world, I would meet a girl who's into video games, but I think they're a rare breed. They really are. Yeah, if any delightful female is watching this video and yeah, you're into video games, then you never know. But no, I must admit, Chris, there's been very few girls I've met personally that are into video games. I'm sure it is different now. I mean, my daughter is a massive video games fan, but yeah, it did seem to be very much a kind of male orientated thing, although it has kind of changed, thankfully. Next up is Ox. Al, you're lucky you've got access to like-minded people and systems at your local computer club. Many of us have nothing like that around our own doors and only get to relive the experience on the internet, which, let's face it, is a poor substitute. One of these days I'm going to get my arse up to Edinburgh for the weekend and join your club. Well, you're absolutely welcome anytime you want. Thing is, we've had a few people asking us, how do you go about getting a computer club together? Well, my mate George, who started the club, he basically put an advert, or he got interviewed from one of the local newspapers, and he said how he was wanting to start up a computer club, and that was how it became. That's how it came to fruition. He got an article published in the local newspaper in Edinburgh, and asking if anybody wanted to come along to this computer club, and it was like, wow, here's a guy that's interested in the stuff that I'm into. And we've been going for now about 6 years. So I'm not saying it's easy to do it, but just stick an advert in the paper, whatever, and you'll be surprised. There's a lot of like-minded people out there. But absolutely, if you're ever anybody at all, if you're ever up this neck of the woods, drop me an email. If you want to come to the Computer Club, you're more than welcome. It's usually on middle of the month, but you're more than welcome, Ox. Next one is Ian Hunter. Thanks for the video, Alan. Don't worry about lack of content, mate. There will always be an audience. A question for the waffle before I get too drunk. The magazine vids are really nostalgic, especially the Zap 64. If you could wish for a magazine annual, including all formats in your Christmas stocking, which one would it be? An annual? It would probably have to be a Zap 64 annual. You know, I know there is the latest, there is a new Zap magazine out, or it's a book that Chris Wilkins and various other, including a couple of my mates, have got involved in it, and I've not got it myself, but I think a Zap 64 annual or a Computer and Video Games annual would be pretty cool, because obviously Computer and Video Games, CNVG, it came out quite a few years before Zap, but yeah, it would be pretty good having like a Zap 64 annual, I should say, with every single feature and review that they ever actually looked at. That would be pretty good. But yeah, I will need to get another one of these videos of me looking at a magazine, and they're always good fun to make. They're always dead easy to make as well, so I will try and get one, maybe put out over the weekend, see what I can do, mate. So anyway, thanks for the question, buddy. Mark again, Lactobacillus Prime. I thought you were talking about a computer monitor at first, but you're talking about the reptile. I never really understood why the English, Scottish, thank you Mark, use monitor for such a beautiful lizard. Yeah, I don't know, that's just a phrase that it's called a monitor. Don't know why. I call it a lizard sometimes. Next one, Doug Scullery again. Great waffle, Alan. I haven't yet subscribed to Emotional Cripples, but I'm definitely considering a subscription to their sister publication, Emotional Cripples Readers' Wives. Which is probably more my cup of tea. You're mental. And lastly, very, very finally, we've got Nifty Retro Gamer Neil. Great stuff, Alan. Hope you get better soon, mate. Thanks, Neil. I am a lot better. I've got a kind of irritating, got to blow my nose, but apart from that, it's absolutely fine. So, listen, I'm going to stick a wee bit bonus footage. I'm going to stick some footage of me playing a couple of games on my main cab and showing you the new controls. But anyway, guys, thanks as always for all the wonderful questions. Keep the support coming. I always do appreciate it. And finally, guys, as always, have a great weekend. Finally, thank you very, very much for watching. Right, okay, this is, well, it's not a new MAME cab at all, it's the same MAME cab, but what I've done is, there's the dogs. I have now got new joysticks and buttons fitted. These are, it was my mate Mike that gave me the joysticks. The problem I had with the last ones, although they worked fine, one of them stopped working. It would, you would move left and it just wouldn't work properly. So yeah, I've changed over from the little, I don't know what I call it, the snooker ball, the little round red knob thing. It's now the little black joystick thing. So it just gives the cab a kind of new look. And I've also changed, these are different buttons. Again, rather than the clicky, well you'll hear this. Wait a minute, I'm going to, 1942 is going to start up. Let me just come out of this. Yeah, you'll be able to hear the clickiness of this. Click, click, click. As opposed to, see, there's no clickiness, which I like. So it means that when you're hammering, you're not going, you just get that noise. It's silent. So the buttons, to my mind, the buttons are a lot better. Another thing that my mate Neil has done, this trackball has got, it had a light underneath it, excuse me, it had a light underneath it, which some people like having, you know, their cab buttons lit up. I don't want that. I want, you know, when you're playing it, it would just be super bright. So when you're playing it, it was really distracting. You'd have this really kind of bright, glowy light kind of shining up above you. So Neil disconnected In fact, no, I'll tell a lie. We did it a really technical way. There's the lights underneath are actually LED. So rather than try and disconnect the LED, all we did was put some black electrical tape across it, which has done a really good job. It's no longer lit up, which is excellent. And the same with player 2. It's got the nice quiet buttons. The only thing is, this joystick, I notice, you'll probably not be able to hear it, but you can hear it clicking. If I use one finger, I can push it to the left. But when you put it to the right, you've got to force it. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. But I spoke to Mike and he is going to send me another joystick, a replacement joystick, which is really, really good of him. So yeah, that is the new, excuse me, the new joystick and new buttons in the main cab. I think it looks pretty damn funky. Right, I'm not going to bother letting you see me playing a game because you've seen that. So anyway, yep, that's a little bonus video. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching.